First and foremost, all praises are due to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth. Salutations to the brothers around the four corners of the earth who are teaching this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect, a few men, women, and children that believe in this word. This is your brother Kwat Sabah coming at you again with another lesson. This one is entitled, You Only Have I Known. So this is Yahweh speaking of us, the Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans here in Babylon, America, and scattered throughout the world like the sand of the seashore. He says, you only have I known. So we are very special to the Most High Yahweh, all right? We're more special than any other race of people on the planet Earth. Let's get some scriptures to back that up. Let's go to Deuteronomy 7 here. In verse 6, it says here, For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, Yahweh. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That's very plain and simple, okay? Very plain and simple. We are very special to the Most High Yahweh, the Hebrew Israelites. Let's get the definition of that word special real quick in the interlinear. We'll get the Hebrew translation of the word. Let's see here real quick. It says here, this is the Hebrew translation of the word special.
Strong's H, 5459. Segalah. Segalah.
It says here, possession, property, a valued property. So we are a valued property of the Lord Yahweh. Peculiar treasure. All right? So let's go back. So we are very much valued to the Father, even though we went off over and over again in the Old Testament leading up to Yahweh Shai coming on the planet Earth. He gave us a lifeline, grace, through the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai. Let's go back here. Let's read it again. Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, Yahweh. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people, of all nations. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So that's speaking of the Exodus, where Moses led us out of Egypt under captivity, right? Out of bondage. Now we're in bondage again here in Babylon, America. And the second Exodus will be what? When Yahweh Shai comes on the day of the Lord in those ships. So we're looking forward to that, and we hope that we can be part of the elect, the remnant of the Hebrew Israelites that get saved on this side. Deuteronomy 7 and verse 9, it reads, it says here, Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant, which is an agreement, and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repayeth them that hate him to their face to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. And that's going to be through Yahweh Shai, who's coming to judge the whole earth. But in particular, the Hebrew Israelites, 2/3 of our people, who are not going to hearken to this word, who are going to continue to call upon Jesus, Buddha, Allah, every other God but the Most High, who loves us, who sees us as the apple of his eye. He's going to come with payback via those nuclear missiles from Russia and the other nations. And if you're not beamed up onto that chariot as a Hebrew Israelite, you're going to be destroyed. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to be slack. All right? Deuteronomy 7 and verse 11. That's why we're compelling our people to repent and convert. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Seek him while you have time. The grace period is closing, but you still have time as a Hebrew Israelite, okay, so-called Black, Latino, Native American here in Babylon, America, and scattered throughout the world. You still have time to repent and convert, to believe in Yahushua, that he was here, that he died, that he was resurrected, that he's on the right-hand side of the Father, and that he is indeed coming back in rulership as King of Kings and Lord of Lords on the day of the Lord. Deuteronomy 7:11 reads, Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to do them. Now, of course, we went off, okay, from Moses on down in the Old Testament. We kept going off over and over again, worshiping other gods, trying to emulate the other heathen nations and their customs and traditions. And of course, the Lord was, the Lord was wrong, okay, because, technically we committed adultery and fornication against Yahweh, but he sent us a lifeline, Yahushua, to bring us back, to reconcile us back with him. But only the remnant, the elect, are going to, repent and convert, call upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushua in truthfulness and sincerity, put off wickedness to the best of our ability. Only the elect and the remnant are going to come back. You see, so let's get a precept. Psalms 147 in verse 19. Psalms 147 in verse 19 reads, it says here, He showeth his word unto Jacob. So his laws, statutes, and commandments that were given to Moses to give to us were for us to follow, okay, to separate us from other nations. You see? He showeth his word unto Jacob, which are the Hebrew Israelites. Jacob had 12 sons, the 12 tribes of Israel, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. So he revealed them to us, his decrees and regulations to Israel, the Hebrew Israelites only. You only have I known. That's very, very clear. Let's go to Amos chapter 3, and let's get verse 1. Amos 3 and verse 1, and it reads, it says, Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth, of all the nations of the earth. You only have I known. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. All right, so we were what? Put in captivity through various captivities. You had the Assyrian captivity, the northern kingdom, all right, circa 722 BC. That was the first captivity. And eventually, the 10 tribes went through the river Euphrates around the Horn of Africa and landed up in Latin America, okay, South America, and North America as the Native American Indians and Latinos. You see what I'm saying? So they were there before the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And then you have the Babylonian captivity, circa 586 BC. Then you have the Persians and the Medes, that captivity in 540 BC. And these captivities were, like I said, they were, basically mainly for Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, who were still there in Israel, all right? And the other 10 tribes had moved on. And then you have the Greek captivity, circa 322 BC, all right, under the Greeks, of course. And then you have the Roman captivity. So that's how we were scattered. That's part of the scattering of the Hebrew Israelites. And of course, you have the siege of Rome, which really began in 67 AD to 73 AD, all right? But eventually 1 million of us, the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, migrated to West Africa and other parts of the world as well. But mainly the main migration was to West Africa. And then you have 1,500 years later, 1619 AD, the transatlantic slave trade, all right? Where many of us were brought over here to America, some over into Europe, some to the Caribbean, all right? So those are the various captivities okay, that we were punished for, and that's pursuant to Deuteronomy, all the punishments, Deuteronomy 28 from 15 on down to verse 68. In verse 68, it states that, let's get verse 68 as far as the Deuteronomy 28, because I don't want to butcher it. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, okay, it states here, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, meaning means spiritual Egypt, okay, meaning the captivity, okay, I will bring you into Egypt means the transatlantic slave trade, 1619 AD. Let's read it again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Okay, meaning nobody can redeem us from the slavery that we were put into, the captivity. But we know Yahushua did redeem us by his sacrifice. All right, and soon and very soon, the end of that redemption will be what? The elect, the remnant, being beamed up into the spaceship of Yahushua on the day of the Lord. Lord willing, we endure to the end. All right. So this was that last punishment. The tribe of Benjamin, Judah, and Levi being brought, okay, via the transatlantic slavery on ships. All right, mainly to Babylon, America. So we're in the present captivity under the Edomites, so-called white man, the devil. Let's go back here. Salakia for that. Let's go back to, what do I have here? Amos 3, and let's see what I have here. Amos 3, and let's go to Deuteronomy 10 for some more precepts. Deuteronomy 10, and we have here verse 12. Deuteronomy 10 and verse 12, and it reads, it says here, that's why Elder Apostle Gabar and Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Ramloff, Elder Apostle Rakah, and other brothers always speak of what? The history is the mystery. So you have to understand the history of what we've been through various captivities, and it lines up with these scriptures. Deuteronomy 10 and verse 12, it says here, and now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, okay, with all thy heart, thy mind, thy soul, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God, Yahweh, with all thy heart and with all thy soul. That's all he requires, okay? Very simple. To fear him, show reverence to him, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. And now we have the Redeemer. We've been redeemed, okay, bought back through the sacrifice of Yahushua. So we have an example to follow. We've been reconciled back to the Father through the sacrifice of Yahushua. He says here, Deuteronomy 10, let's read this again. Deuteronomy 10 and verse 12. And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God, Yahweh, with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord, and his statutes which I command thee this day for thy good. Pretty simple, but of course we violated that. Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Lord's thy God, the earth also with all that is therein. Okay? Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. All right? So we are the special chosen people of the Most High. That's why nobody likes us. And that's pursuant to Deuteronomy chapter 83. All the our enemies that are confederate against us, that are that have formed an alliance against us, because they know we're the special chosen people of the Most High Yahweh. Now we're waking up, pursuant to Revelation 11 and 11, pursuant to Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones. We've been watered by this word, cleansed by this word, the word in the flesh, Yahushai, the fountain of living waters, We've been showed the light, and the light was Yahushua in the darkness. All right. Not everybody's going to hearken to this word. That's why the Lord's going to only save a remnant, an elect of the Hebrew Israelites, known as the Israel of God, the Israel of Yahweh. Let's continue. Let's go to Exodus 19, if we may. Exodus 19 and verse 1 for another precept. Exodus 19 and 1, and it reads, it says here, in the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of the Sinai, okay? For they were departed from Rephidim, I guess that's how you say it, Rephidim, and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount, okay, Mount Sinai, which many of our elders and apostles and the elder brothers, they state that Mount Sinai was really a chariot, a big gigantic spaceship. And Moses went up unto Yahweh, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, the big gigantic spaceship, saying, thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Okay, he brought us through the Red Sea. He departed the water for the Hebrew Israelites who were led by Moses. And then when the Egyptian soldiers came after us, he put the waters back on them and destroyed them. All right, that's very, very powerful what the Lord did for us, Yahweh. All right, we ought to be very, very grateful. Exodus 19 and verse 5, it says here, now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, my agreement I made with you, okay, to keep my laws, statutes, and the commandments, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Okay, but you only have I known, as the lesson says. Let's get the definition of that word peculiar. I have the Bible dictionary definition here. Okay, it says peculiar. It says appropriate, belonging to a person and to him only. Okay, so we belong to Yahweh only, the Hebrew Israelites. We're peculiar. It says here, particular, special. So we are the special chosen people of the Lord Yahweh. It says here, exclusive property, that which belongs to a person, in exclusion of others. So we are exclusive to Yahweh. We belong to him. All right. So that's good there. Let's go back here to, just want to get that definition. Let's go to, let's read Exodus 19 and 5 again. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Now the Lord speaking through the men of the Lord, the prophets, the bishops, the elders, the teachers. We're compelling our people to repent and convert and come back to the Lord in the belief in Yahushua, the mediator, okay, between us and the Father. So we are to what? Believe that Yahushua was here. He died. Okay. He was resurrected. He's on the right-hand side of the Father, Yahweh, and he is indeed coming back, okay, to claim his rulership, his inheritance on the day of the Lord, and to help in the destruction of Babylon, America. It's going to be a lake of fire. So we're looking forward to that, and we hope that we are, Lord willing, we are part of that elect and remnant that gets beamed up through faith unto salvation into that spaceship with Yahushua. Let's continue. Let's go to, let's read a couple more precepts. Psalms 135 in verse 4. Psalms 135 and verse 4, and it reads as thus. It says here, for the Lord hath chosen Jacob, the Hebrew Israelites, 12 tribes, unto himself, in Israel for his peculiar treasure, his special treasure, his special people. Let's continue reading one more precept, Deuteronomy 32 in verse 8. Deuteronomy 32, and we have verse 8, and it reads here, it says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. We are his special possession. Okay? He's only known us. You only have I known, so to speak. So on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem Rakakwadash. I hope this lesson was edifying to you. Shalom.